Ooh. Hey guys, we are so excited for this week's episode of the Epic Hour.
It's true.
Live on location.
We don't get to announce like this very often, so
Yeah.
it's fabulous.
Yeah, we can again feel like newscasters again.
Look at that.
So we're coming to you live.
The news is real.
So do we want to just do we want to just drop it and tell them where we're coming to them live from, or what are we doing here? I see some people still coming on, so maybe we should give it a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Well, can we get some clues?
Yeah.
How long did it take us to drive here today?
Well, am I driving or are normal people driving?
These are things that are clues. How long did it
About
take us?
an hour and 25 minutes for the standard person. I gave it right.
How long did it take us to get?
I don't want to incriminate myself.
Fair enough. Fair. Okay. And
Wrong country, I'll plead the fifth.
Okay. So we know we're in Saskatchewan. We know that. And it's kind of, radius around Saskatoon. Generally, there's people that guess, and they usually guess 3 cities. So it's not like a big surprise.
We'll eliminate one. It's not Regina.
Ha! That's not 1 hour away.
No.
And it's not Prince Albert. So that pretty much tells you essentially where it is.
Go west, my friend.
So the city we've opened up in is
North Battleford.
Woo!
Party in here, party to the west.
And
what
is so funny about this, or ironic, maybe whatnot, is that this was not actually on our hit list.
No.
It was eventually. It was one of our top 5.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the next city we thought we were going to go into.
No, but the universe always has a plan, and sometimes you have to listen to the universe, because if you don't, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah. So we ended up just saying, hey, you know what? And the main reason that we decided to expand to North Battleford was because of a guy.
Yeah.
We
both work with this guy.
Yeah, right? And so we actually thought this would be a really fun episode to bring on our first guest.
Yeah. And it's a guy.
And we have our whole team here. It's so funny. Yeah.
That's the giggling.
Yeah. So we're actually going to bring in Drew, and we're going to add this whole episode in with Drew here. So come on over, Drew. Let's get in here.
Squish. We're going to squish. We're going to get, why would he put me in the middle? Oh, you want the epic sandwich? Well, I wasn't going to ask.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting Drew in the middle.
I feel like So this is Drew, and Drew is an amazing guy who knows North Battleford inside out.
Yep.
How many properties do you have here? You don't have to say if you don't want to say. Sorry, I asked me to say what
I juggle thereabouts 10 or so.
Okay.
Ish.
Of his own.
Yeah.
Of mine.
And then how long ago did we meet?
4 years.
Yeah.
5 years in a stormy night in Saskatoon at the Golf Country Club, I think.
Yeah. So this is back in the day when we actually hosted our monthly real estate investors networking events. And then all of a sudden, this guy from North Battleford showed up.
Yep.
And then we,
and he has this infectious smile, and he seems smart. So we actually talked to him.
It's one of those things, right? And so, yeah, we basically kind of, kept in touch, social media. We knew that the numbers here were amazing because you shared some of your deals.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, it's like 2% rule and this and this and this. And then we also talked about some European points, which were
Management.
100%. And capital at some point.
Yeah, there's a few moments there working 3 jobs and had a wife and kids at home and all those things. And capital was trying at times. Yeah.
Totally. And then when you guys had started conversing first.
Yep.
So do you want to talk about how that kind of transpired or whatever?
Sure. You can lead off on that.
Yeah, I suppose. I had an opportunity to buy some properties, but I'd just been through like a couple dry months as far as vacancies were up and all sorts of things. And COVID was just becoming a thing at that time. And I had some properties that I needed to buy, and I didn't have any money and I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wanted to buy them.
Yeah.
And it was just at that exact time, I guess I posted online saying I'm looking for some cash, got these great deals. And then Melissa said, We'll take a look. Or no, you think you said we'll take a look at it. Something Facebook said.
Yeah. I was like, hey, don't forget about Epic Alliance.
Yeah, exactly. And then we chatted and we met and talked for a while and negotiated and thought, I think this fits. Our core values were like,
we knew that
where we needed
it was really good timing that you approached us, because what it came down to is we were at that point, we needed to look at another source of inventory. And honestly, these cities, because there's North Battleford and the Battleford, and so we have the Battlefords, and really the type of housing that's here, the type of tenant that's here, it just fits all the boxes that we needed.
Yeah.
100%.
So again, timing and the universe is a big deal, and we always pay attention to those cues, right? And so for us, we needed new inventory because we had noticed that Saskatoon was turning into a temporary hotspot, which is still happening
A little bit. Yeah.
But Alyssa's still able to hustle and find properties, which is great. But we knew at some point we were going to need to add additional cities because we need to be expanding in multiple different areas. We don't want to just be completely saturated in one market. And so the timing was just perfect. And so we were like, well, let's try it on a few and then go from there. So as of now, to date, how many properties have we bought in North Battleford or Battleford area?
I believe all the ones we have under contract, when they close here in the next short period, we will be at 56, if I remember correctly.
Totally. And basically where Drew comes in is he wholesales us most of the properties.
Yep.
Right? I think we've only bought a couple not wholesaled through Drew.
Yeah.
Because he knows the market, he knows who's buying, who's selling, who's doing what. And that for us is literally like there's no value, or sorry, no that's not right. There is tons of value, but there's no price
It's
on
priceless.
that value. It's priceless value. Because for us, we don't have time to come out here and learn the North Battleford market. We don't know which areas are the best areas or not great areas and which ones are going to rent for what. And, you know, it's kind of block by block. It changes, right? You've got to know your city.
Literally block by block.
Yeah. And so for us, we were like, oh my gosh, this is invaluable. And so that alignment just made sense. And so now you don't have to go into this if you don't want to, but I'm going to ask, how has working with us changed your life?
I mean, easiest thing is money is not an issue anymore. I'm not raising my own capital, which I hated doing. I have a few capital partners and I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could go into all the reasons why I don't, but I just don't. You just do that for me, essentially. And I say, here's all the houses. You can buy them. It's really nice to be able to have the capital in place to be able to renovate houses. I got into real estate in North Battleford for a lot of reasons, but the main was I wanted to buy up houses that were distressed and restore neighborhoods.
Yep. And
rather than doing one every 1 to 2 years, now I can do
endless amounts.
Yeah, like as many as there are to be done, I can do.
Which is
we
amazing.
Can do.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the thing, guys. Like we always talk about win-win situations and win-win partnerships. Like Alyssa and I, that's like literally the backbone of our business, right? We've always talked about that, whether it be the investors, whether it be the tenants, whether it be our team members, whatever people can bring or we can offer to people, we want to be able to really make that magic happen. And that's exactly what's happening here. Yep. And what was your former life?
I had a full-time job, which was about 60 hours a week. And then I had a full-time real estate venture, which was about 16 to 24 hours a week. And that wasn't enough. And I was sometimes taking my salary from my job to put into my properties. And every summer, because I had summers off in my previous life, was spent working, sometimes literally shoveling feces. And,
good days.
Which I don't mind doing,
yeah.
But when that's costing you money to do that work then and time, and my kids are growing up, and it was exhausting.
So,
Alyssa loves spiders, and there's one behind us. Thanks.
They know where I am and they come for me. Like this whole house is empty. Like there's nothing in it. We'll show you a tour quick. And it goes 3 feet above my head.
That's awesome. Okay. So, yeah. So with working with us, again, that's more your side of what had happened as far as what the.
So Drew brought us this package of houses, and the numbers were really good. He had done all the research, all the things, and I approached you, and we had that discussion, you and I, that, we know we need to expand somewhere else. Here we have this person. Let's see what we can put together. And then the next step was I called Drew and I said, hey, I want to come see these houses. I want to look at them. Let's see what we can do here. And I ended up coming. I drove up. I looked at them. I'm like, these are great. They're exactly what we're looking for. And we turned around, and then it went from there to, hey, Drew, you know this town. Why don't we go into an alliance, a partnership, and we can turn around and basically come in and do the safe, sound, and secure, which is what we like to do as E.P.I.C, and change the demographic of this town. And that is literally what we were trying to do. We're going to come in, we're going to make safe, sound, and secure housing with the help of our investors. And Drew is heading this city. So it went from just being Drew and then him working with contractors to now there's a team of 5 of you? 5 in Battleford, already growing. Where they're looking for a couple more people yet. We're just in the works of doing some of that stuff. And honestly, it'll only get bigger and better. And it's cool because number one, we liked the whole concept of growing into North and the Battlefords, because basically it was close enough to Saskatoon, because there was a period here where I was literally going back and forth every few days to really help foster things and all that. And I still come if Drew says, hey, can I set up a date and book you? Then I come. Right? And it's great because I love seeing the progress. It's really neat to be able to come here. I saw this house when we first bought it. It had holes in the walls. It was smashed. The front window was smashed. All the things. The basement was nothing. And when you see it now, I love that, oh my gosh, our systems are working. It's coming together. Obviously, we have our ups and downs, and there's things we're still working through. But again, having a satellite experiment where it's only that hour away, it's perfect because it's far enough away. They have to figure it out a little bit on their own, but close enough to be able to come in when they absolutely need that help. And so that's where it came from. So Drew and I, we ended up negotiating on how he would partner with us, how that would look. I believe I'm going to put him on the spot. I believe as of now, he's still happy about it.
He's here. Right?
We're making forward progress.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the house you just bought for yourself.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was an interesting one that came on the market. Mm-hmm. It was a bank repo.
Mm-hmm.
I got it at about 35 cents on the dollar,
mm-hmm.
and we're looking to refinance it here right away and invest.
Mm-hmm. But describe the property. What is it got?
Well, it's 2,900 square feet. I finally have an ensuite bathroom, which I've never had in my life before, which is amazing. It also has a 2,000 square foot pool house with an indoor pool.
Right.
And we're looking to it needs some work, but once it's up and running, we're going to have like a saltwater spa oasis where my family and I can just go and relax and enjoy. We can't travel anywhere, so just travel to the other part of the house.
There you go. Right. Now, here I'm going to ask a couple of questions about that. Would you have considered taking on that type of purchase before you partnered with us?
Probably not. Well, maybe in 5 years. Yeah. But it came up now. So I would have missed out.
Right.
That I knew a week before, because I have a good relationship with realtors in town now.
Shocker, because we buy properties.
Dozens of properties.
And I knew the week before it was going to be listed. I kind of knew and had it tied up that day. And it's history now. Now we're living in it. So come for a party sometime.
Yeah. There you go. So not only did you quit your day job since you started with us.
I resigned.
You resigned. Sorry. That's a better terminology. He's educated. And then you're a step towards a dream home. Right? So, and you've been with us, what, 5 months?
I'm not counting.
6 in there. Okay. So literally, that's how much has changed for Drew in 6 months. And we have, like, there's other things too, but those are huge, right?
It's the epic hour. It's not the epic day.
Right.
Yeah. But
Right.
it's that spin-off
Yeah.
effect though, right? And if you look at, and this is what I try to, like, you know, sometimes some of you, I just want to take you and shake you know, because I hear you
Yeah.
bitching and moaning about what it is you don't like in your lives. And then I'm like, okay, no, that's cool. Let's talk it out. Let's deconstruct it. Let's talk about what it is that you don't like, what your goals are, and what you want to change. And then let's talk about the steps you need to do or put into place in order to get past that, right? And when you actually break it out like that, it becomes achievable because you actually have the steps. But guess what? Those steps take work and energy and time and, right? So are you actually going to do the things? Or are you going to be sitting here 5 years from now being like, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? And that's what I want to really get out to everybody, is that the time is now.
Yeah.
And there's opportunity literally everywhere. Sometimes you just have to create your own, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Drew mentioned all of this took place through the heaviest components of COVID, right?
Yep. That was the worst time for some people, and it was literally the best time for me so far in my real estate career.
Right? So those are huge things to take into consideration. And again, Drew has been amazing to work with. We have huge plans for Drew and other expansions and all kinds of things. Again, stay tuned as we build things out and build things up if you want to know more. And what other things? Now, I think it was your dad that was mentioning how we also have another guest in the background here. But he had mentioned how people are actually talking about how we are fixing these houses up. We aren't allowing the clients renting them to do whatever the heck they want. We are being responsible. Again, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but people are noticing the changes. They're noticing the differences. And that for me is the next level part that yes, it's great that we make people money and that we're making money, but the legacy aspect and the part that really gets me excited is we're making that change. We're coming in and we're cleaning things up block by block. Drew was just talking about a block where we've bought a bunch of houses. He wants to go and film and take pictures of that block so that after we fix things up, what does that block start looking like? I have one in Saskatoon. I actually am going to sit down and talk to Ashley about how can we make that one of our epic hours where we can feature this block where I have all the film and footage of what it looked like before to what it looks like after we own like 6-7 houses in encompassing that alley, and the differences that are there now. And it's huge. It's huge. And I can't wait to show those kinds of transformations. So yes, it's great that we're making money. Don't get me wrong. We are not a charity. We do this for a business. But ultimately, Epic is proving that just because you're all about capitalism, you can also be a social capitalist. What does that mean? You can give a shit about what you're making your money off of. Okay? And that, I think, is one of the pivotal foundation things. And that's why Drew pairs with us so well, because he gives a shit. Okay? No, really.
I do.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's huge. I don't want team members who, if someone comes to us and says, oh my gosh, I want you to work with me when you go to the next city, great. But if you're only here for the money, it's not going to work.
No,
okay?
It has to be ethical investing, because at the backbone of it, for us, we're here to create a legacy and something that supersedes our lives, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how long can we keep this going, and how big can we grow it? And with people, partnering with people like Drew who have the same vision and the same want for legacy, it's like, that's where the magic comes.
Yeah, I've been approached by neighbors. That house right across the street, they said, we love, this house was a disaster.
Yeah.
And they're
It was like, I drove up and I went, even for what we can talk numbers. Let's get into the numbers of this.
You want to break the numbers down? Okay.
Yeah, so basically we paid, I want to say it was, again, I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say we paid $62,000. And basically after...
Was it private sale or MLS?
No, it was private.
I want to say this one was in MLS.
Was it MLS?
I think so.
I thought it was sort of. because I think they
Pocket
had,
listing?
yeah, it was kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay, so pocket listing on MLS. Again, this is why it's all down to relationships, right?
Yep.
Letting people know, hey, we're buying. Hey, this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Realtors generally don't want to sit on listings, especially if it's going to be a tough listing with a busted out window and it looks like shit, right? If they can go and have a cash buyer and have it locked down and it's gone, they don't even have to really truly list it and do all the things. They're going to go path least resistance on the most part.
Easy money.
It's true. And so basically we're into this place about 110, 120 with all of our renovations, everything. We're just finishing it up. And we will turn around, rent it for about
1,500, 1,600.
and we will end up getting it appraised somewhere between 175, 180 and putting it into our hassle-free landlord program.
So again, it's exactly the same model we do. We come in with a cash investor, we purchase the property with our fund to flip opportunities. Then when it's done, renovated, we get it reappraised, and now it's inventory for our hassle-free landlord program. That's a great price point because it's a good starter house price point. We have some investors who want lower, higher, whatever. That's kind of like middle of the road, 180,000, and then boom, sell it, pay our fund to flip investor their money back. Of course, they will come back and say, let's go buy another house. And we're like, okay, right? And again, we talk about that Epic Alliance ecosystem. And that's really the magic of what makes our business model so different than the average person. Again, you were talking about how you didn't like raising capital. I happen to love it. It's my jam, right? And so at the end of the day, it's figuring out what makes sense for you. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Again, you look at what Alisa does on the side of the business. It's like finding the properties, putting the systems in place, working with the team members. Not my thing, right? Again, we talked about I don't really like people all that much. That's okay. Alisa takes that on. So figure out what makes sense for you and then put all the missing pieces in and make it work.
Mm-hmm. It's true. There's a associate friend of ours who's passed now, but he had a book and he still has it out there, and it's called Money, People, Deal. And it's true.
Stefan Arnio.
Yeah, and it's honestly, those are the components of all of this. And if you're the people, we're the people person, right? He's the deals, and Rochelle's the making the money, right? Like, so I mean that's, and I mean Drew and I kind of alternate between the deals and the people, but honestly, it's that simple right here, the trifecta. It's that simple, and I think people get hung up on the minutia technicalities. Yes, those will have to be worked out and worked through, but honestly, it's not going to happen unless you just do it. I know I sound like a broken record, but Drew, how many times have I said that?
A lot of times.
Well, let's just do it.
Because even if you do it and you do it wrong, you're going to learn. So take the lesson, figure out what wasn't good, correct it on the next one, and then move on with life.
Yeah, it's really that people want to complicate things and make it more than that. But you can take as an example, you can take coloring. Okay, you got paint, you got pencil crayons, and you have crayons. All of them, you're going to get it done. The easiest one is the crayons. Just pick them up and color it in, right? So just look at life like crayons. Like just pick them up and fill in between the lines and make it pretty and make it work, right? So anyways, but honestly, the other thing that was really cool about Drew, we also met his wife, and that was the cincher for us. We were like, oh, we can work with him. She's such an amazing person. And no, like she's just like, you can tell there's always that, behind a great man is an amazing woman. Yeah.
This isn't that.
Jill's gonna say this. Jill's gonna do this. You're lucky she gets you.
Yeah. But no, she's awesome. And, that was another thing I really gravitated to when we were talking about this alliance was because, I saw the family unit. I saw them as a whole, and I really saw how good that was. And, and that's, we love that, right? Like we love being able to work with just really salt of the earth, wholesome people and take them next level. And it's great.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do a tour at some point, but we'll go through. Does anybody have any questions? Again, we always love answering your guys' questions. We don't always have a guest on here.
Yeah.
And Drew's gonna be on again. So if you have any questions for Drew specifically, please
and we
chat.
don't have anything pointed at him, so like you can ask him like, are they really that bitchy? Or like you can ask
Whatever. But now's your time if you have any questions. So yeah. So some questions here. So we talked about why did you choose North Battleford as the first Saskatchewan city to expand to? This guy. So 2, will you have a separate office or team of people working in North Battleford?
Already do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming.
Expand.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, right? Like we're at 5, but of course it's going to grow. How many more properties do we get here? Is it something where, you know, I don't know, it's exponential in theory based on who the leader is though, right? Because again, if it's going to be something where Drew's like, okay, I worked my 2 years, I'm financially free, I don't want to do this anymore, then it's either find a new leader or we have to back off that gas pedal, right? So pivoting and adapting and whatever that might look like, it's going to be interesting as we be going forward. Are you planning on expanding to other Saskatchewan cities?
Yeah, at some point.
And so just to put this little seed out there, if you are in a city in Saskatchewan that you know works for our numbers, and again, buying low properties, doing a light renovation, being able to push the value, and then have inventory that we rent out at the 1% rule, and you know it works, that is the markets we're looking for. And if you are interested in Drew's story and you're like, hey, I know people, I could do this, I could be the one wholesaling, making money, maybe working with us in different capacities, I don't know what that looks like, but reach out. We're always willing to take phone calls from people, and you know, who knows which truly next Saskatchewan city will be the next one, because again, we have an idea of which one that will be. Will it happen? Will something else come up before then? Who knows? Everything changes fast. 4.
Yep. What makes the North Battleford real estate market ideal for you and your investor partners? Well, we kind of touch base on that. It hits all of our check marks for what E.P.I.C needs. We're able to offer safe, sound, and secure housing. There's a rental market need. The type of housing here, it like as far as like the actual physical size of the houses, what they're built on as far as land, those kinds of things, they all fit our check marks for being able to utilize in our programs.
Yep. How many properties are you planning to control on North Battleford?
As many as we can. That's always the goal. We're honestly looking to come in, you know, buy, set up shop, and grow it as much as we can, because the more houses that we are boots on the ground for means that's that many more houses that are not run by absentee landlords.
Not saying that all landlords are absentee.
No,
but
it seems to be kind of a component. Would you not say that was something that was plaguing the city?
There is an issue with that in the city, and it's made it difficult for a lot of good landlords who are working hard, and a lot of times it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Well, it's changing though.
Cool. And then when did you purchase the first property in North Battleford?
You would probably be the best.
Yeah, do you
I
remember?
think you guys bought one before I came. It would February, March?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it was then. Yeah.
It's the beginning of this year.
Yeah. And then what is the average cost of a single family home in North Battleford?
It
depends on the block.
Yeah.
Honestly, Battleford is funny like that. It literally, you can go 3 blocks one direction and it's going to change the value of that house. Again, because of a lot of times of what's been happening on that block, right? Whereas now, if you come in and you buy 3 or 4 houses on that block, you renovate them, you can change that.
Yeah, I would say 180 to 200,000.
Yeah.
It's dangerously affordable.
What did you think it was? What's
180 to 200,000.
Okay, we'll Google it just to see if it comes up. But yeah, in our price point or how we buy, I think it's closer to 1 or 120 based on the numbers I've seen.
That's your lower end rental stuff that
Yeah.
we've been scooping up, but some that's distressed that we can renovate.
For sure. But it cash flows. So again, what are we buying for? We're not buying it to live in it. We're buying it to have cash flow inventory. And then, do you have a number?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, 191,250.
Right on there. Nice.
Yeah,
Why did we
thank you.
partner with this guy? There you go. There's the example right there.
Numbers. You got to be willing to get put on the spot too.
Right.
That happens. Number 8, are there any advantages to investing in North Battleford as opposed to Saskatoon?
I think that, again, Rochelle and I have repeatedly stated one of our visions and dreams is to make owning rental properties mainstream. These price points in a place like North Battleford make that a reality, right? Someone, for example, who's in Toronto, who is sitting on $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 because they're trying to get to where they can afford a house in Toronto, can put that money to work, buy 1 or 2 or even 3 houses here, get that money really working for them and change their life. And that is a vision. And I think Battleford, with even having those lower price points in Saskatoon, really is that opportunity for us to really dive into that.
Yeah, the barrier to entry is very, very low.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Did we not just buy one for, what is it?
For us, it was $30,000. Now, what did Drew buy it for?
I don't know. I think I paid 30,000. I paid, I forget, 10 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So dude buys it for 10, wholesales it or gets it under contract for 10, wholesales it to us for 30, right? Some people might be like, how does that even work? You just paid him twice as much as he paid for the property. Like, the numbers are the numbers, man.
Yeah.
That's another lesson here. I find that so many people in the real estate investing space get so hung up on the fact that other people are making money. Right?
There's lots to go around.
Crazy. And so for us, I'm like, I don't really give a shit what you're making. What is that property valued at today? How much are we going to have to put into the property? And then what are we going to be making on it after? Right? And that's where I think a lot of people get really short-sighted. And oh, now there's a fly. So at the end of the day, like, it's good if we're all making money, because you know what happens if we're all making money? We all get to keep doing what we're good at and bringing our best traits. And so, yeah, and I was pumped that we were buying a house for $30,000, whatever.
Yeah.
But once the house is renovated and done, it'll appraise at, what do you think?
150.
150. Again, that house was I asked, what's up with this house? And Drew said,
There was a fire.
There was a fire, right? So again, it's going to need a lot of work, but that's okay, because now we have the crews and the teams to be able to do it. And then it still makes sense. We get the lift. Great. That is fine. So yeah, and then we just got a few others, I think last week, we ended up buying them for 35,000, and then with slight renovations on some, more on others.
Yeah, and then that's on the block where we're going to completely change the entire dynamic of the community.
Look at that.
And I'm pretty pumped about it.
Game changers. Yeah, that's the stuff that we're really behind. And yeah, and it's interesting because this is the stuff people are going to start to take notice and be like, who the hell's Epic Alliance and why do they own so many houses? And we're like, yeah, just, our plan to eventually take over Saskatoon, then the world, no big deal. It's just unfolding.
Yeah.
Right? No big deal.
The stepping stones are in.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting also, I'm using that word a lot. It's kind of annoying me. But it's good how we got to play around with this expansion before we launched into the States.
Yes.
Because to jump on a plane and head into the States is just a little bit more work than to drive an hour. Yeah, than to drive an hour to come to North Battleford and do it. So it was great because we kind of had a pilot chance of doing a pilot project, and now we've learned a lot, and then we're able to really replicate that. Obviously, things are going to have to tweak because it's going to be international investing.
Well, and also the way we're going to be doing things and running that show, it's different.
Yeah.
We're not going to have the employees that we have in Canada because we don't need them in the States to the degree that we have up here. Again, I've openly talked, and we will do an epic hour on our expansion eventually to the States and those differences. But the big differences are labor costs and material costs between here and there.
Totally. Yeah, but it's just having the crews. So there we've got wholesalers and we've got real estate investors, we've got realtors who are wanting to work with us in the States. And that's really what we're going to be banking the business on, because we're not there to find the deals, to manage the deals, to properly manage the deals.
Yeah.
And like Alisa said, we're not going to have the team. So yes, different, but at the same time, it's all going to go down to our working partners. So we couldn't do what we do if we didn't have people like Drew. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Will investors have the choice between Saskatoon and the Battlefords when they do a deal with Epic?
So this one, it's really dependent on price point. So whenever we get a pre-approval, right? So generally right now people are doing call with Bailey or myself. They're going to get pre-approved. And then from there, we're going to get a price point of how much of a property that an investor wants. So then from there, we send 3 appraisals for currently available inventory that people can choose from. And so usually it's whatever price point. So we might send 1 Saskatoon, 1 to North Battleford, or 3 North Battleford, or 3 Saskatoon. It just really depends on what we have on hand in that price range for inventory. So right now we've sold, I think, 2 of the North Battleford properties, just because it's relatively new inventory and there's a lot on renovation right now and whatnot, but most of our investors who are out of town don't care. Because at the end of the day, the contracts are the same. We take over all the risk. We're dealing with all the property management, vacancies, maintenance, repairs, anything that can and will go wrong on the property. It's an us problem, not a you problem, right? So for us, mostly the investors don't care, but they do have a choice depending on the person.
I think this will be a good one for you to answer. Do you envision that E.P.I.C's presence in the Battlefords will help reshape the quality of rental opportunities similar to what we've accomplished in the core of Saskatchewan?
I think it's already happening on a smaller scale. People are taking notice. And I've been thanked by neighbors. I've been thanked by the RCMP saying, we see what you're doing. Keep up the good work. They listen to me when I call now.
But that makes a difference.
It does.
Like,
we have to
honest to
build
God.
those relationships too. It was
Yeah.
the same thing between the police department and the fire marshals and the city bylaw officers and all those things. We, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they hear things from people and they're like, yeah, I've heard this, blah, 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 yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, like, okay, they are, you know, they do post on their tenants if there's garbage in the yard. They do make them clean it up, or they come in and remove it. You know, all of those pieces are starting to be seen, and it's really cool. And I think that when we were early in negotiations, it was actually one of the things that really appealed to the whole concept of us aligning was you said that. You said, I see what you guys are doing in Saskatoon, and I want that for the Battlefords. Yeah, and it was.
That sold it.
Yeah, again, in alignment, right? Do we want to do the house tour? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Who wants to do it? Do you actually, okay, so this one will probably take a little bit longer because Drew knows what was up with this property when we bought it, and then he can talk about why we did what we did, how we've done it. It looks amazing. Yeah. This is a really great property, so super stoked.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, the main floor wasn't too bad, other than the axe hole and the bullet holes in the front door. The front window was cracked and whatnot, falling out, which we had to do.
That big window.
We showed around. We can show the window here. We got a brand new window right there, looking out over the beautiful yard and everything. New doors, new flooring throughout. If you come in, I'm so excited about this kitchen. We still have a few things we're finishing up here. We got a nice little dining area and a nice L-shaped kitchen right here. Hey, our electrician just showed up. Just filming here. We tried this new, I don't know, ceramic tile countertop, which is, we'll see how it goes from our supplier in town here. It looks really nice. It's all grouted, and I've had 2 different tenants come through here, and they were just like, wow, because this is not typically what you see in a rental property in the Battlefields, but they do exist. I guess I can show you the bathroom, the bedrooms.
Yeah. So again, nothing is extremely fancy. Everything is clean and just modernized.
I mean, it's not huge. Clean, new windows. It'll be nice and warm in here in the winter time. Everybody's got a little closet. And once we have a nice big yard, once we get it finished, we have fencing that's going to come up along the back, and you've got a beautiful large yard you can hang out in and enjoy. Bathroom, you can come on and look in the bathroom. I found this on Facebook Buy and Sell, fancy little funky sink, and brand new tub, toilet, everything. So somebody's going to come into this bathroom. I know some of the people I rent to in this town, they've never had a brand new bathroom, not once ever. And so they come into this and they're like, it's like they're staying at the fanciest hotel. They love it.
So quick one, I don't know if everybody can hear. Drew, can you explain why there's a sound in the background with lights on?
There's a fan. If you look up here, there's actual ventilation in the bathroom. When we bought this, they had the standard window right here, which we took out, boxed in, insulated, and then replaced with a full tub surround, which is going to save for mold issues. It's just going to make a better bathroom experience for anybody who lives here.
Why is the fan running with lights on?
Because it's hooked to the same switch, so we turn on the light.
Oh, there we go.
Probably on the timer. Okay. So every time somebody comes in the bathroom, the fan comes on and we're good to go.
And the reason for that is we found over the years, tenants typically are just not interested, or whatever the case may be, in turning the bathroom fans on. So what we do is we hardwire all bathroom fans to the bathroom lights, because it helps with all moisture and ventilation issues in that property. That fan comes on every day, multiple times, and it will help protect your property. Another bedroom.
Master bedroom. They're all pretty cute.
Yeah. Oh, this light's not working.
No. Oh, they shut a breaker off.
Oh, that's
they were
right.
playing some stuff. So. But yeah, this is a big bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be 11 by 13-ish, roughly.
Go touch the wall. We're both 6 feet, so that's 10-ish. Yeah. And then
10 by 12,
yeah.
13.
If we don't count the closet, then we have it'll be
10 by
yeah.
11.
Yeah.
So it's good size. You can fit it
Epic
inside
measurement.
if you have to.
You gotta use what you gotta use, right? For those that don't know, your arms are typically from tip to tip are the same height or length as what your height is on average.
But when you come in here, it smells clean. It smells new.
Yep.
Versus it was smoked in, it was
Oh.
partied in.
Honestly, it was a zoo house. It was, yeah. The basement is also one of the cooler transformations here. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, they had a partially developed basement. They had a lot of plumbing in place, and they had all the things, but they never done anything. And all the drywall down here, it looked like there was fist marks and puck marks, and it was just trash, absolutely trash, and there was no flooring. So we ripped out all the old drywall, put in new drywall, actually put in the bathroom. We got new ceiling, drop ceiling down here, and nice big bedrooms. Yeah, like this. In this first bedroom, we got a huge closet, like enormous, and we put in the full window with window well. And I mean, if we want to do the measurements here, we probably got.
We're gonna need a third.
Yeah, it's probably like a 14.
Here comes Ashley. There we go.
Probably 14 by 10 or 11 or so, and just like a big bedroom.
So this isn't just potentially a bedroom. This could be an office. This could be a TV room. This could be. It has lots of uses because it is. But when you're constructing houses, you are, when evaluations are being done by appraisers, they are going to give you more value if it has all the capabilities of a bedroom.
And we're in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Does it smell like we're in the basement?
No.
No. It's clean. The air's good down here. And it smells like fresh paint and fresh floor.
Yeah.
Awesome. We can check out the other bedroom. It's basically the same. And again, it's big enough. It could be any space. It could be another living room. It could be just whatever. But huge closet space. Hardwired smoke detectors. Like it's safe, sound, and secure.
And if you come on in, you guys can stop at the bathroom. This is just about finished here too.
Yeah, I got to toss in the.
Taps.
I got the fan going again.
Yeah.
It's vented right outside. Yeah, once we have the taps in here, it's a nice, fully usable bathroom. Good space.
So this is the utility room.
Yeah,
and
utility.
we just don't do anything in here. There's no need. There's nothing really to do here.
No, it's storage and laundry.
Laundry, that's it.
But
It's
lots
where
of
your
space.
mechanical is.
Yeah, we can come in and work on the furnace if we need to. Lots of space in here, and
Yeah.
it's good.
So again, nothing is complicated. Everything is very straightforward. We have 2 color schemes, and we're doing that in Battleford.
Yeah.
We did the same thing. I educated Drew. I said we need to pick a gray that we can work with, and we need to pick a brownish, kind of creamish color that we can theme with flooring or with paint. Drew I gave him samples of what we had in Saskatoon, and then he basically came here and found vendors to work with for the flooring and the paint and materials and all those things, so that we can keep things very streamlined to what we do in Saskatoon. Yep. All right.
Yeah, it's a cozy, comfy house to live in, and even the neighbors are excited for who they can, because they know when a property is like this, we can get a higher quality tenant in here.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have the crazy parties and come and go traffic and a lot of the things that.
No, and again, we won't allow the crazy parties, even if it's a thing. I mean, we'll definitely, like we do, we pair with the police, we pair with the fire marshals. We don't want those things happening. Our lease is what, 5 pages? Literally, like we literally make them sign off on all kinds of things that, you know, and the move-in is not 5 minutes. It takes 40 minutes. By the time everybody is trained to read the lease to the tenants, because we have tenants that don't read well, right? So it's easier to walk them through it and explain, hey, you are not allowed to pile garbage up in your back. Sometimes it's that. It's an education. They didn't know that that wasn't okay. Right? Where they came from or whatever the scenario, they didn't know that that'll upset people. Sometimes that's all it is this is not okay. Or if people that just think they're going to just do that, they just won't rent from you anyways. Because they're like, oh, you guys have rules. You're right, we do. So go on down the street or go to the next property where they don't care, because it's not going to happen here. And then guess what? Eventually we'll be buying that one and you won't be able to stay there either, because that's what will eventually happen. We'll end up, you know, lifting the way things are done. And then it's like either people will have to conform to that, or they're the ones that are going to be dealing with the complete bottom end. And it's just going to be awful for them.
Yep, we have city noise bylaws, right, in the lease agreement for North Battleford. Here's the rules. They're the town rules.
Yeah.
You can be fined if you don't follow them.
That's right.
You can call the CSO on you if you don't follow them.
Yeah.
And then I get to talk about what those expectations are. Like,
yeah. And it's right there. You can't go, I didn't know, you can't. And this is why these conversations are so important when we move people in.
Yep, and it's been great for me educating a lot of those people. I take 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Yep.
The longest has been an hour and a half, because I sit there re-explaining and talking.
Yeah.
And we're friends almost by the time we leave, and they know my expectations. And I've enjoyed that. I enjoy sitting and talking to people. It's
friends with very drawn out boundaries.
Yep.
Because we don't play. If they owe anything on the 16th, they get posted. I don't care if they've been with us for 5 years. They will be posted. The cool thing is they have 30 days to which we can make a decision on whether we need to act or not act on that posting. This is why we post on everyone. Then if they correct it, we don't have to do anything with it. But if they don't, things are already there, so you're not behind in the system.
Yep. And
that is told to them from day one. If there's something you owe, even though you've promised you're going to do a catch-up payment on the 20th or whatever date you've stated of the month, we are still going to post you that you're in arrears, because if you don't follow through with what you told us you're going to do, we're going to have to do what we need to do to keep things going well.
And there's fees.
That's right.
If you're late, I mean, they have to circle back to me, and I have to circle back to you, and I have to drive. There's costs, there's time allotted to deal with that situation. I have to go back to your place again on a not rent collection day to collect rent, so I'm not doing something else.
That's right.
And I do have a few things to do.
Yeah.
I'm a busy
true.
guy right now.
Right.
So
yeah.
Circling back to get rent that should have been there already is not my favorite thing to do.
No. And again, this is why having those conversations makes all the difference, because they know we're not playing games here. We want you to enjoy your home. We want you to live safe, sound, and securely. But the trade-off is you do have to pay us rent.
No pay, no stay.
Right? That's the hashtag. Right there. You got her. Cool. Anything else you'd like to add?
I don't know. This is finally seeing this cleaned up and ready to go compared to that first day we were standing down here.
Right? What a feeling,
it
right?
It stunk. It was gross. How long did this take? This took a little longer than usual. We had some holdups with materials and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
so
finding suppliers. And I think it was 4 months.
Yeah.
We weren't working on it the full 4 months.
Yeah.
There was some time we were waiting on hearing from this or waiting for this material to come in. But total, probably like 6 to 8 weeks of
actual work.
Yeah. And then the in-betweens and whatnot.
Yeah. Again, I don't know I'm sure lots of people have come across this, but it's been weird times for so many things, but materials is another area, building materials, where COVID hit. And it was like the weirdest thing. It's like at one point there was no flooring available we ran into for like 4 weeks. You could not buy vinyl plank flooring anywhere. And it was like, what? How do you run out of vinyl plank flooring? And we're talking, we couldn't get it through Home Depot. We couldn't get it through Lowe's. We tried everywhere. It was wild. And so we just had to wait it out. So that's what happens. Then we had to jump and go, okay, well, we'll start this project because we have the materials in this area that we can work with, and we'll have to circle back. And so then that's why it gets extended, because sometimes there are things that happen out of our control. Same thing, the windows. It took time for us to bring the gentleman from Saskatoon to come cut the windows. So, because we coordinated, what was it, 11 windows that?
Yeah, it was 9.
Nine windows in one day that were cut. So it made more sense to bring him to do one grouping like that, then come do one house, then go back, come do another house. And that's again why our contractors like working with us, because we try to do that for them, right? Because that's more bang for their buck. Also, the window installer, he actually came from Saskatoon for the new windows that we bought, and he stayed overnight, one night,
we had
2
a house
nights.
for him. He stayed
Yeah.
for 2 nights. He's done that twice now.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we have the one supplier in Saskatoon, and you guys are buying windows from them, and we're buying windows from them, and it's time. We were waiting for windows one time.
And that's another area we're backed up right now. It's taking, even though they're making them in Saskatoon, it's taking it upwards of 5 weeks to get windows now.
And they're working around the clock.
They are,
weekends, everything. They are working to make windows.
So. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good. That's leveraging people.
It is. Yeah. Any more questions? No? Okay. Cool. All right, we'll head on upstairs. Thanks, sir.
Welcome back. How was the tour? Hope you guys all appreciated it. So yeah, that's about it. We don't have any questions at all. I don't think we've had any questions this entire time. We've got like 5 minutes before Drew's gonna peace out, and you won't get a chance to talk to him. Yeah, he's got to get back to work. So on. But yeah, all right. Well, I don't know what else we got. Anything you want to add?
We have a few comments. Great job, Epic. House looks great. Joan said, hello, everyone. I'm catching bits and pieces of the Epic Hour while at work.
Ooh, yay. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, otherwise, no questions.
Okay, so next episode of the Epic Hour is going to be, get your pens out, Wednesday, October 14th at 12 p.m. Saskatchewan time, which is
11 a.m. PST time and 2 p.m. Eastern time.
So mark your calendars. We still don't have a location
We never do.
or a topic, but we'll get that coming soon. So we have our marketing team here. Do we want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, we should, because it's really
our,
expanded again. And I know, like, we've got some other locals, and
we'll put you on the spot. That's what happened.
Welcome to the shit show.
Does somebody want to introduce it?
Yeah, so do you? We're like the mystery guests. This is Colleen. So for those that don't know, Colleen has been following me around, aka shadowing. And the reason for that is I have come to the realization I try so hard, but I just can't be at 2 places at once. So I really was kind of talking to Rochelle about this. I'm like, I've been manifesting. Okay, how do I get a second me, right? Like, not just an assistant, but literally someone who can do the problem solving and see larger scale visions and, take the pieces of walking into a property and go boom, 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 this is money, this isn't, this, and start really grasping that. And I said to Rochelle, I said, you know what? This isn't something I can just hire. This is an apprenticeship. This is something where someone has to follow me around. Someone has to hear me have the conversations. I'm sure that was a similar experience for you, Drew, is, it was literally, you're calling me, you're asking me about these situations. I came here, we went to place after place together, very similar concept, right?
There's still things like show up. what would Alisa do here? I don't know. I gotta make a call, send a text.
I've always wanted that to be said about me because my favorite character from Sons of Anarchy, Gemma, what would Gemma do? And I'm like, that's what I aspire. What would Alisa do?
You're the first person I've ever been able to do that with.
Yeah.
Now it's not all on me to go, this is a really weird situation. And I'm going to just make it up. I can call you and you tell me what I need to do. It's great.
And if it's not something you guys have already experienced, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's true.
It's kind of like brainstorming. What do we do here?
And that's what I was getting at with Colleen is that whole problem solving thing where sometimes there isn't like a textbook answer or any of that. It's you literally just have to take the components and pieces and put it to a place where you can make it work.
Colleen, do you feel comfortable explaining some of your backstory of how we first got to working and what transpired to this?
Sure. So I first met Alisa at I actually have a business. I still have it, but I'm kind of wanting to get down on it. I'm a community planner by background and experience. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. And I met Alisa at a business event, and actually, to be honest, I thought she was a little abrasive. I'll be honest.
I am.
But she was doing interesting stuff. I've always been interested in real estate. Tried buying a rental property. It's like, oh God, landlord's a nightmare. But anyways, and I think, met her at a few different things, and I said, I think this is the way to do real estate. So my husband and I bought a flip property, and then we bought 2 hassle-free landlord properties, and then another. So we got 2 hassle-free, 2 flip purchases, and it's like, I think I want to do what they do, but why would I start at the beginning? So I actually called. I was talking to Rochelle about it, and I said, I'd like to work with you guys. How does that look? So we had phone call, we had lunch, I think initially, and we had and all of a sudden, here I am, and I'm so excited. It's been really fun, and I'm really looking forward to helping grow E.P.I.C and learning so much.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what's been making it fun, isn't it? That you're really learning things that are not of the norm, right? Even though I'm abrasive and loud. Right? But I'm abrasive and I'm loud because I honestly am so passionate about E.P.I.C. It's just, and I think you've seen that now. It just is like, I have ideas, I see the things, and I'm just like, this is so black and white for me. It's just laid out, and I just get frustrated. Why can't other people see this? Like, this is just so logical, right?
Yeah.
But
what I love about Colleen's story is, again, we were working together in one capacity, and then all of a sudden she saw something and was like, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know what this looks like, but let's just have a conversation. And of course, we're always open and receptive to ideas like that. And so we were like, yeah, let's set it up. But it was so wild. And again, I'm going to go back to the magic of the universe. Yep. But Alisa had kind of explained to me, like, I need somebody who can help me in the field, who understands higher level stuff and whatever. And then I was like, so Colleen showed to me, and I think she might be your person, right? But again, it's just put it out there. If it's something that you feel like, whether it goes somewhere or not, just put it out there. Don't be scared. Don't let your limitations or limiting beliefs hold you back.
I don't think we say it all the time, but I think it falls on a lot of deaf ears. If you don't ask, you will never know.
Totally.
And we say that. I'm sure this group hears us say it. Did you ask? Have you asked?
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, right? Yes, final ask. Yeah. And the other thing is, we wanted to introduce, is it Mallory? So Mallory. So Mallory is actually, we actually kidnapped her. We were just doing a tour of the Empress store in North Battleford, and they oh my gosh,
check it out.
So cool. They have the
drive to Battleford just to see it.
Amazing. Alyssa was like, you have to see this place. So I'm like, that's awesome. So they sell us a lot of flooring and paint and
baseboards, casing.
Yeah, for our properties. And so we had, we love cross promoting and business and stuff. So we were in there, and then the owners ended up talking about, oh yeah, you should talk to Mallory and social media and la 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 and all this stuff. And then Ashley was like, do you just want to come? We're doing this E.P.I.C, you should come. So that's why Mallory's here. So again, thank you for joining us. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Hi. yeah, and then everybody else knows the rest of the marketing team we have here, and then we have a full crew. So we thank you guys for enjoying this. No, sorry, you might not have. I don't know.
I
Sorry.
enjoyed it. I
Oh, that's
enjoyed
good. I was gonna say joining us, but that didn't come out right. But hopefully you enjoyed this
The
episode.
filters
of Epic
broke,
Hour.
and it's so hard.
So yeah, but hopefully you guys got something out of this. And yeah, again, topics, let us know what you want to hear more of. And thank you, Drew, for being here, and Colleen and Mallory and the team. Could do what we do without you guys. So yeah.
Thanks for coming to the Battlefields.
Yay! So we'll sign off. And in the meantime,
Stay epic.